Let's get started then. So as I say, thank you very much everybody indeed for joining today on your lunchtime or on your day off, whatever it may be. We do appreciate, as I say, coming on. My name's Dan. I'm the Senior Account Manager here at Pitch Hero, and it's my responsibility and job to look after people like yourself, make sure you feel comfortable and make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do as well. Nice and easy today. I like to keep it nice and relaxed. What we're going to do, we're going to run through about 7 or 8 different slides, explain about Pitch Hero, explain about what's going on. I'll then get rid of the slides and we'll start to do some demonstrations as well. There will be time at the end for questions and answers. So if you just type your questions and answers as we're going, I appreciate everybody's completely on different levels. Some people won't be using Pitch Hero. Some will be experienced users just coming on for a refresh. But there's no such thing as a daft question. If you don't know it, just ask the question. We'll help as much as we can. Okay, so without further ado, as I say, membership, online and payments, as I say, hosted by myself. Okay. Sports back, fantastic, isn't it? After the time we've had and what's been going on, as I say, you know, with COVID and things like that, it's really, really sort of important to sort of take this in hand really and get back playing again. You know, I know there's a lot of cricket, especially with the summer sports, looking forward to a full season. So I don't think I've had a full season for a couple of years now. Rugby has cricket, rugby has football, hockey and things have, but it's back, so it's fantastic. So what is it now? It's time to make it better for volunteers, make sure everybody's happy, and as I say, save your time, because at the end of the day, we're all volunteers. We all work, and again, it's something we do because we love the sport, we love the club, and again, it's something we want to do to make sure we strive to be the best club in what we do as well. And again, be happy. You know, big thing that Pitch Hero pushes as well is be volunteer happy. Because as I say, we mentioned, you know, we are volunteers. There's nothing worse when it becomes a chore, thinking, oh, I've got to log on tonight and I've got to put the match reports on or the membership or the payments. There's nothing worse than that. So make sure obviously we're all happy and life is nice and good for you. Again, you can talk to Pitch Hero at any time you want. If you ever need any demonstrations on things, we can do training. Personally, I take out the training. So if you've got a club and you want me to train some of the managers on an evening, we can do it. We can do what's known as a Google Hangout. I did one cricket club last week and there were 29 people on there, which was fabulous. Was going through the manager app, showing them how to do stuff for the match fees, the membership, and they loved it. So if it's something your club needs, you can get in touch with us. If you just want a small demonstration on something for yourself, just to refresh, we can do it. I know we have got a lot of webinars planned over the next sort of 6 weeks on, you know, everything from payments to getting your season back up and running again, to doing all sorts of different things. So keep a lookout for them as well. We'll keep sending stuff out. But as I say, if you go onto pitchhero.com/demo and you can book in as well. Don't forget, we've also got the support team. So you can email them. At the moment, we're not having the phone lines back on. That's support@pitchhero.com, and they'll be able to help you again with anything technical, not a problem. What we'll discuss, why move membership online? Membership forms in your membership database, manage online payments, how to view with the manager app, and again, any questions. So like I say, nice and relaxed. Why move membership online? A lot of people ask me that question. And it's quite simple, really. You know, gone are the days of, you know, the old flip folder that used to be kept under the bar in the clubhouse with everybody's registration forms on. And, you know, it's sod's law, the one you want's never there, you know, when something happens and you're trying to find it. And again, it's making sure now everything's personal details are safe, you know, because of the wonderful world we live in now and GDPR, we have to make sure everything is safe and secure, that nobody can access that personal information. So again, by moving it all online, it's stored securely up in the cloud. And again, you can access that as well from obviously the laptop, the MacBook that you may be on, but you can also access it from the manager app as well, which will go into and show you as well, which will really, really revolutionize, as I say, things for you. Access whenever you need and use it to grow the club as well, you know, getting people in there to join the club so you can communicate with them. You can then send messages out if you're having some sort of barbecue or fundraiser, you can communicate with all your members then. Works perfectly with online payments. So again, there's no more cash, greater flexibility, greater visibility. One thing that we always happen, and I know at my rugby club this always happens, you know, you'll write down on the back of a a BMR or a piece of paper, somebody hasn't paid, and you say, oh yeah, they'll pay next week or whenever it may be, and you forget. And we've all got those people in the club. If they can get away without paying, they'll get away without paying. But again, once they're in this system, they can't get away without paying. So it is proven that you will collect more membership and things online. Again, several ways you can join, which we'll go through. You know, we put here, join Reading Hockey Club. We can just go to the website. We can send the invites out. So again, that's all the type of things that we can do. We can remove unnecessary fields. You can test to sign up. And as I mentioned again, you can email all members requesting they check and update their personal information, which I will show you as well. Okay, so really, that is what I wanted to talk about really on there. I now want to go on to our demo site, which we use. So this is a Pitch Hero Club. This is a demo site that we use. So obviously, I appreciate you'll be all coming from different sports and things like that. But this is the dashboard you'll get when you sign on. So as you can see here, left-hand side, it's a control panel. It's got Pitch Hero Cricket Club, and it's got all the things underneath that we're going to talk about. Okay, so let's go into membership and membership dashboard. Okay. So this gives you an overview of how many members you've got in your club, how many is registered against not registered, and how many is receiving email and not receiving email. These fields are really, really important. Okay, total members, fantastic. So we know how many members we've got. Registered against unregistered. It's really, really important that you get everybody to register within your club. Now, the UK law states anybody 14 and below is not allowed a registered account with a sports club. So that's where we have what's known as the parent role. The parent role obviously speaks for itself, and they then tag their children or child, as I say, in there as well. That way as well, from a safeguarding point of view, all the selections and payments and messages that get sent out bypass the child and go straight forward to the parent as well. A lot of clubs now wait until they're 18. 95 to 96% of our clubs don't tell them they can have their own account at 15. They leave it till they're like 17, 18 before they let them have their own account. Two reasons really. One, the child tends to forget things. You know, we've all been there, child forget to tell you something like game's off or training's cancelled because obviously the message was sent out through the app. And again, when it comes to payments, how many 14, 15-year-olds do you know that are going to pay their own membership? It's bank of mom and dad, again, that are going to pay that membership. The next one's really, really important as well, and this is to do with sending messages out and push notifications. So you can see there, it says receiving email 15, not receiving email 196. Those numbers, if you have a junior section, should be somewhere around the same with registered and non-registered. Bear in mind, this is a training count, so the numbers will be out. Now, when they're registered, and obviously you send a message out, what happens is it normally goes to the club app. Not sure if you're aware, Pitch Hero has two apps. It has the manager app, which is for all webmasters, team managers, coaches, people like that within the club. Then the club app that everybody should have. So once they're registered and you try and send out something from the club, whether it be team selection, availability, a message, a payment request, it gets sent through as a push notification. So that's why it's really important that they're registered. If they don't read that within 2 hours, they then get sent an email to their account. Hence why it's really important that they confirm their email address when they register. If they read it on the push notification on the app, fantastic, no problem at all. The email doesn't get sent. But if you're busy, like most of you probably are, and you don't get a chance to read the push notification, it then after 2 hours realizes that obviously you must be busy. It then sends you an email to your account to say, you've got a new message from the club. Could you please go in, as I say, and read that message or reply to it? So again, you just go into your club app, see the message, and again, you can take it from there. Okay, so let's have a look here how there's different ways of getting people to register and to join. Okay, I'm now going to go into the membership database. Don't worry about where I'm clicking and what I'm pressing on, because as I say, we will help you. You're not just left on your own once you set up the site or you're moving on. We will help you and discuss things with you. So you can see here in the database, there's several different people. So if we look at Cameron here, for instance, Is he registered? Yes, he's registered, which is fantastic. So I know I can send him a message and I can get him obviously to do that. Joe Admin again underneath, he's registered, it's fantastic. Now, underneath, if you look at Jeannie, we can see she's not registered. What I can do if I want her to join the site, I can tick her at the side so she goes that horrible and mucky orange and yellow colour. I've still not decided what colour it is. What we can do is invite her to join the website. So if I click her there, for instance, click invite, I can preview what it's going to say. So she's going to get that email sent from me to say, come and join the Pitch Hero Club, Pitch Hero Quickie Club, should I say. Tells you all about it. Some people that are joined at the bottom, you see some pictures if they've got a picture in there. And again, they click on there, follow the link through, and they can fill out all the details as well. Now, if you've got a database of people that you're aware of, that you know is pretty clean, so if you've got, say, for instance, the parent's first name, surname, and email address, left-hand side here, you can import them into the system. So you can import them into the system, so it's like Jeannie here. You then click them, and again, you can invite them to join the website as well. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is asking them to go to the website. So if I click on the Pitch Hero website, again, this is a test website here. This is a front page. You can see at the top, you can see login. So once they're a member, they can log in here if they want, and they can join. So again, if they click join here, probably text, because I'm a super user, it'll probably realize I'm already in, so it takes me in. But again, they can join there and they can go into the website and join as well. This is what it looks like, obviously, when they're in. So you can see this is me here. These are my made up kids and things like that. So again, you can see once they've joined, again, this is in the app as well. So you don't have to come onto the internet at all. They can just go on the app. And again, they can see the overview there. They can see messages that have been sent. So like I mentioned before, if you don't push notification and you get an email to say, we can see the messages. You can see the payments that they're being asked to play. And again, if I click on the kids below, and again, the parent manages the kids' accounts as well. So you can see all that type of information in there. Okay, so those are the two ways that you can join. A couple of things now we're going to talk about as well. You're thinking, well, how does this bring on my online registration online? Okay, great question. Now, what we're going to do is go into fields, left-hand side. Again, don't worry about things because we can talk you through it. Now, the ones in black are what Pitch Hero asks. They're standard ones: name, gender, date of birth, email address, because everything works around that unique email address. You can then ask 60 individual questions you wish to ask. So you can ask medical conditions, doctor's information, emergency contact name and number. You keep going through, as you can see, photo consent. We know the big thing with safeguarding now, you've got to get consent to say, are we okay to photograph your child and put it onto the website? Again, making sure we're all covered with the safeguarding side of things as well. So what we'll do now, what happens is when they register, they come into Pitch Hero, into you as a club. You then accept them. Again, it's a two-step process, again, because you might get somebody that's saying, Danningham wants to apply to be the under-14s coach. You might get to me and think, well, who's Danningham? Don't know who he is. So then you can ring him up before you approve me. They have to be approved first of all. You ring me up and I'm saying, yeah, I was talking to Dave, the head coach. He's happy to have me on board. He's told me to register. No problem. We approve that person. I then get an email back asking to fill out the registration form. Hence, these are what all the individual questions are here. So we can ask anything we want. Really easy and really straightforward. So if I click add, don't forget anything green within Pitch Hero is add. It gives you a couple of options that you might want to ask, but I'm just going to put here, I'm going to create my own field. Now, when they apply for certain roles. So if it's a parent, they apply for a parent. If it's a player, a senior player, they'll apply for a player's role. Coach, staff official, team admins, it basically speaks for itself. But this one, I just want this to apply to our players. So again, untick the box, for instance, here. I'm going to type in there, photo consent 2022/23. Again, short name, I'm just going to call it photo consent. And again, in the description, do you agree for your pictures to be taken. Again, I could probably word it better, but again, we're only training at the moment. Now, there's 4 ways you can answer this. Click on the box here. We can do a single line, we can do a paragraph, we can do a drop-down menu, or a radio buttons. So again, text line and paragraph speaks for itself. Drop-down and radio, nice and easy. If I click drop-down menu, we always leave it as anything. So I'm going to put here, yes, next line, no, okay. We always leave it as edit. We want to leave it as mandatory. So I click mandatory. I now go down and click save. If I scroll down, it says field added, again, because it's in green. Scroll down to the bottom and it says there photo consent. Okay, now if I come back to the top, preview the registration form. I just want to look at the registration form for the players. If I scroll down to the bottom, there you go. Photo consent, do you agree for your pictures to be taken? And again, they answer yes or no. So they fill all that information in. In real time, it now goes into the membership database. So if I go into the membership database here, he says, waiting for his internet to kick in. Here we go. So we're going to be back into the internet database. If I use myself as a guinea pig, all the information that's been filled in about me is all here. So you can look at all this information in here that's been filled out. Now, what you can do, all this information you can get on the manager app, which I will show you in a moment how you can get all that information. So I'm playing, for instance, I go down under a heavy tackle at rugby, ambulance needs to be called, I can't move my leg, for instance. You can go on, or the team manager or the coach, whoever it may be, can go on to that team, can go on to me, click on my details, and you can see there, yeah, he broke that leg playing rugby 3 years ago, he's got asthma, he's allergic to penicillin, and he's probably too old to play, you know. So again, you can see all that information. So when the ambulance comes, you can say, here's all the information, who's his emergency contact name and number, right, that's his wife. So we need to give his wife a call and just say, obviously, don't panic, he's on his way to hospital, hence the panic probably then. But again, it gives you that type of information as well. One thing I also want to show you as well, what's really, really good, they only ever have to register once within Pitch Hero. So you're thinking, why is that? Now, what you can do, because obviously bringing it all online and it's all digital, I can click Joe, for instance, here. I can highlight everybody. Some clubs do this every 6 months, some clubs do it every 12 months in the off season. Highlight Joe. I now go in to click prompt to update information. I can put a note in here that says, oops, please make sure all details correct. Whatever you want, you can put a free note in there. I can then go in, click send. He gets a push notification to say you've got a message from the club. He'll see whoever sent it to say, can you now log into your account, please, and make sure all your details are up to date. So again, they're constantly going into the club app, constantly updating details. We've all been there, we've all changed his number or changed address, and we've told Sky, we've told the council tax, gas, electric. The last thing we think about is to tell the club. It's one of those things. But again, doing things this way, it's taking all the pressure off having to fill out a form every year. And again, we can move it all online and we can see the information as well. Okay, so that's the membership side of things. I will show you a few little bits on the app as well when we move on. But what I want to show you now and talk about, and again, I know this is not for everybody, but I want to talk about moving your membership payments online as well. So you're thinking, well, why should I put my membership payments online as well? We're quite happy. Dave stands at the bar. He's been doing it for the last 25 years, chasing people for their membership, and they give us checks. Some do bank transfers, and yeah, some do standing orders. But yeah, what you don't realize is Dave spends once a month for a full day ticking off bank statements, seeing who's paid, seeing who's not paid. Payment will come in with no reference. Nobody's got any idea who the payment's for. So again, you're constantly chasing. Using Pitch Hero to do all your payments and things will make your life so much easier. It'll take all the pressure away. All the details as well can be exported into a CSV or Excel spreadsheet, and then can go into the software and things like the club users. So it may be Sage, QuickBooks, whatever it may be. So it can all be exported. So let me show you what I mean. Again, don't worry about where I'm clicking because we will train you on this. So I'm going to go into shop and payments, and I'm going to go into dashboard. You probably see dashboards coming up a lot in each section, which it does. Okay, so the dashboard in shop and payments tells you a bit of an overview about how things are. So it tells me we've had £150 revenue in the last 30 days. Okay, it tells me it's one transaction. It gives me the days as well, when obviously was a peak, when a lot of the membership and stuff came in, which is really, really good. We can search for longer. We might do the last 6 months, 12 months, 3 months. We can put custom dates in as well. At the top here, it says assignments. When you set up a product, you can assign that product to certain members or teams. So you might want to say, right, this is the under 16 payment. So I'm going to tag all the under 16s, 15s, 14s in this payment. Now, because it's a parent-child account, we always tag the player. Like I mentioned before, it then bypasses a player and goes straight to the parent to say, little Johnny's annual subs are now due. Can you go in and pay it? I mentioned as well, we've always got those people that try and get away without paying. This system prevents this. So I can see now I've tagged or assigned 90 people. 4 people have paid because it's gone green. 86 people haven't paid, again, because it's red. So once that person's in the system, been assigned a product, until he actually pays it, there's nothing they can actually do. Okay, so you're thinking, right, what do we do? How do we set this up? Okay, nice and easy. We'll go through it, as I say. So we're going to click into products, and we're going to add a new product. So anything in your club that's got a monetary value can be sold. So you can collect for tours, you can do fundraising, merchandise, teamwear, tickets. If you've got a ball on, for instance, or a barbecue, whatever it may be, you can sell your tickets. But we're going to concentrate on membership. So I'm going to click membership. Gives you a video that we put together for you to show you how to do it, but it really, really is straightforward how to do things. Okay, so we're not going to watch the video because you've got me. We'll click next. So again, it's basically a yes, no is what we're going to go through. Does your product have different pricing structures? So yeah, it may do. It may be that the membership is, so seniors is £150, juniors is 100, and anybody else is 80. So again, we can set it up like that. What we're going to do today, we're just going to do one product because I'm going to show you some different things that you can do with it. So does your product have different pricing structures? No. Okay. Is there more than one way to pay for your product? So now the system is really, really advanced. So what you can do, you can say, right, what I want to do is pay £150 in one-off payment. You can then decide, well, I'm going to give them the option to pay 2 direct debits of £75, 3 direct debits of £50, or 10 direct debits of £50, or completely up to yourself what you do. But bear in mind, it has to be equal. So if it's £140, you can't do like 33 because it doesn't. It's got to add up basically to the overall, you know, it's got to be a multiple of the overall figure, should I say. Or if it's just a one-off payment, again, you can do it this way as well. So for example, we're going to say is there more than one way to pay. So we're going to say yes. So what's your product called? We're going to call it Early Bird. Sure, most clubs will have an early bird. As I say, next. Okay. What is the first payment option called? So we're going to call this, oops, annual. So again, is it for an individual or a family? So the system is that advanced, you can now set up an annual for a family. So you can say, yeah, mom and dad and one child's £150, mom, dad and 2 children's 200, mom, dad and 3 children's 250. So you can give them the options when they go in. So no, this is just going to be for that. How would you like members to pay for annually? So I want them to do a one-off payment. So how much is your annual cost? It's £150. Okay. So we're now going to add another option. So I'm now going to put monthly, option 1. Now I'm going to click next. Again, family or individuals. So we're going to use installments now. I can customize, obviously, what I want it to do, but I want it to be monthly. Or I can customize it here by picking a certain, I want it to do it every buy, for instance. So I'm just going to do this every month. We're going to do this. Total cost is £150. And there you go at the bottom. It's now giving me every month. So again, if they buy it now, they pay £75 and £75 next month. You can put an initial payment in if you want to do. So you click that and it'll say how much setup fee do you want to charge them. That's up to yourself. So we'll do next. Don't want to do it on a specified date or on the date purchase. We're going to do it on a specified. So what I'm going to say, it's an early bird, but because we're a cricket club, we're going to say your first payment will come out on April the 1st, which then means the second payment will come out on the 1st of May. I'm going to add another option, and I'm going to put here monthly, option 2. Again, it's an individual. I want to do installments. I want to customize it. So again, it's every 1 month. If you put every 3, it goes out every quarter, and so on. Total cost, £150. Here we go. And I'm going to do £50 for 3 installments. Again, if you want to put an initial setup payment, we can do. On the date purchase, no, we're going to do it on a specified date again. So did we say the 1st of April? So again, we're going to go into April. We're going to go into the 1st. So what will happen is £50 on the 1st of April, £50 the 1st of May, and £50 again on the 1st of June. Click next. Okay. So again, it's giving them options. So when you tag them in the product, assign them the product, they can then choose what they want to do. I'm going to click next. Now, we have 2 systems that we do. Because we're not a bank, we have to use other banking providers. We use Go Cardless, which is a direct debit payment system, but has also got Quick Pay on there as well. We just launched, or Go Cardless have just launched Quick Pay. If you're a non-profit organisation or a charity or a cask, you benefit from the lower transaction fees as well. If you want to use that, fabulous. If you want to use Stripe, which is debit card, credit card, American Express, and Apple Pay, you can use Stripe. So again, the payment just comes off that account that they put in. But we're going to use Go Cardless. Would you like to add a description? So I'm just going to put here, early bird. All I'm going to put, again, it's a trading site. Do we want to upload a picture? We can do if we want to do. Skip. Okay. Now, all members can purchase, does what it says in the tin. All members can purchase. So again, when it's on the website or in the app, they can just go in and buy it. Only assigned members can do it. So this hides it. Say you may have a special product for low income or people that are out of work, for instance, at the moment. You can do it this way. So only that person you tag can see the product. So sometimes it will save a little bit of embarrassment if people on low wages or single parents and things like that. So you might have a special agreement with them. Again, that's the way to do it. Unavailable to purchase, again, does what it says in the tin. Nobody can purchase that product. But I'm going to put here, all members can purchase. It asks me to review it. Again, I can review it. We know it's all good. This is a point where you click the pencil, go back in and amend it. I'm now going to click create my product. There you go. The product has now been created. Now, what I can do, we mentioned before, I can assign members. So I'm going to filter here by roles. Oops, when it decides to catch me up, come on. So I just want it to be for players, okay? And I'm just going to say, I just want this to be the 17s, 16s, and the 11s, okay? He says 11s, come on. Okay, normally happens until when you're training. We'll move on from that. But again, you tick it as normal, gives me 51 people. So I click them at the top and I click create 51 assignments. So all the 51 players in those teams have now been asked to pay their early bird. Message obviously doesn't go to the child, it goes straight to the parent. Each parent will now receive a push notification to say, you've been asked to pay little Johnny or little Sally's membership for the year. Can you go in and pay it? We can see here now all the people that's in here, and we can see, for instance, it's not paid. So I know Jamie, Jono, Joe, myself, again, because it's a training site, I'm in those teams as well. I can see, for instance, they've not been paid. Once they've paid, that will then turn green. So you can see that. What if somebody, for instance, we've all got those people at the bar that, no, I'm not going online, I'm not going to do it, I'm still going to pay by cash. Okay, that's fine. We understand, obviously, why you want to do it, no problem. Say Jamie is that person. He's been assigned a member product. I go in and I can just put there, add a manual payment. So I can say, yep, he's done that, he's paid cash. I can put a note in if I wanted, and I can add it. We can now see Jamie has now paid in cash, and we can obviously see the note if I need to do it again. So that is the way, because we will still have those people, no matter what happens, we try and move it all online. We're going to have somebody that says, no, I'm not going to pay online. Here's my check. You know, I mean, I didn't realise checkbooks were still going until my mum sent me, my parents sent me one. But hey ho, we learn something new every day. But again, this is just making life so much easier for you now. Couple of things I just want to show you on the app. I don't really want to go too much into the apps, but what I want to do is just show you a couple of things, and we'll open the floor for some questions. So what you can do here, give me a minute. Is it going to recognize my phone? You'd think in today's day and age, there would be an easier way of looking at the mobile phone online. No, and for some reasons, like anything, isn't it? When you're training, things always go wrong. So let's just give it another go. Come on, look after me, don't do this to me. Sorry about this, everybody. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go, fantastic. Okay, so this is the manager app that you get. So you will see at the top, obviously, all the teams that you follow. So you can see it says all, men's first, men's seconds, and so on. So again, this is where you can go in, and this shows you all your fixtures. But the bit I want to show you really here is members. So if I click on members, two things. This is a third place you can invite members to join. So again, if I click invite members there, if you've got a WhatsApp group, for instance, you can then go in and you can then send the details through as well. So I can just go into a WhatsApp group and send everybody a link to join the site. Again, just gives you the latest people that you've been speaking to as well. The other main thing that I wanted to show you here, so if I go into the men's ones, for instance, and I search for myself, click myself there. So that brings up my details and obviously my pretend kids and things at the bottom. But if I go into my details, so I have the accident side of the pitch, the coach needs to find my details. Again, all my details are there so they can find out everything they need. So again, it benefits using the manager app, again, to be able to see things. Last little bit, again, the club app, click into the club app here. Pick Giro Cricket Club, as I say, it's just loading up. Give it a moment. There we go. So again, it gives you all the different things, acts like a mini website. Again, the match fee's in the middle, but we'll touch on that on another webinar. But at the bottom, you can see here, if I look at messages, again, when people send a message out and things like that, asking you to upgrade things and do things, it's all in there. And again, when you get asked to buy a product. So if I go into Mark there, who's our CEO, who sent me a message, he's asked me to go in and to buy a product. I can then go into that product if I wanted to, or what I can do, if I go into shop and payments, a shopping basket at the bottom, this is where your club members could go in. If I click on membership, I can see, you see the early bird there that we set up earlier. If I go in to click buy, it now tells me, Danningham has asked you to buy this. I've asked myself to buy it. There you go. Can you see the options that they can now go in? So they can say, yeah, I want to pay for it annually. No, I'm a bit skint this month. I'll pay for it over 2 direct debits. And it tells you there from the 1st of April. And again, or option 2, 3 installments. So it gives you all that type of information as well. So you can go in and buy that and you can choose it as well. The other bit, again, what I want to talk about, they can go into their account, 3 lines at the bottom, go into their account, look at my info. And again, when you send them that prompt out to go in to make sure the details are up to date, they just go into here, put it in, date of birth, I'll put mine in here. So mine's the 18th of October, 1976. So obviously that's a long time ago, you know, so let me just, so again, they go into this, oops, did it go about that far? Yeah, that's, so again, so I can put done. So I've put, obviously it's 4th, I'm not the 4th at all, am I? I'm the 18th. There we go. So as you can see now, puts my date of birth in 18th of October 1976. That will in real time go straight into the membership database again, so all that information is there. One thing just quickly, just to show you what I didn't show you before, mentioned before, if you go back into the shop and payments and go back into transactions or assignments or products, click into products. I mentioned before, click into them, for instance, into the early bird there. And there you go. See what it says export in the middle? Again, I can export all that information that I want to do. Again, see who's paid, see who's not paid. I can export that information. I can do the same in transactions as well. So I want to go in and again, there you go. It says export. Okay. Also, your membership database can be exported as well. If I go into the membership database here, you can export that as well. So again, you can see there it says export. So if you want to have a hard copy, fine, you can have a hard copy, you can export that, that's up to yourself. But all the information there is exportable as well. Okay, so I know it's been a whistle stop going through membership. We've talked about obviously payments and how it works together. We've also gone through some bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw open the floor now. So if you've got any questions at all, please go into the Q&A bit, type in, and we'll go through and we'll do as much as we can to help. Okay, so let's come down and see where we are. So Matt Bradshaw has said here, hi, do we handle a scenario that 2 parents are involved in marriage? Matt, great question. Again, today's day and age, obviously, you know, parents and things separated, remarried. There's nothing stopping that child having 4 parents. So again, it might be mom, dad and his new wife, mom and his new husband, for instance, whatever it may be. And again, that way, the great way of doing that, if mom and dad aren't speaking and when a message goes out, they both get that message. So again, the child's obviously looked after again. So again, it's a great way they can do that as well. So hopefully that will help as well. Matt's asked again, when joining as a parent, who is also a player and a coach, do they select the roles they're applying for? Registration form then contain relevant fields. Let's just reread that again. Sorry, Matt. When joining as a parent, also. Right, so I think what happens, so if a parent, Matt, for instance, will join as a parent, when they join as a parent, it asks them to put their child's name in. If the child is in the database, it then creates that child in the database and automatically applies them to that parent as a player. Okay, they're also asked to put what team he's in, but that can be amended at a later date. If it's a senior player, they just apply for a player's role. And again, if it's a coach, for instance, like that, they apply for that relevant role that they want to do. And as I think I mentioned there, is a registration form then contain all relevant fields for each role. I don't know if you remember, Matt, when we showed you, excuse me, I've got hiccups, what they do, they decide when they're setting up the field, who does this role apply to? So again, if you want to know, right, we need to know everybody's emergency contact name and number, you just leave it for club members, coaches, parents, players, webmasters, team admin, things like that. So you choose who it's for. Hopefully that helps, Matt. Matt, again, you're poppy today. Matt, again, when sending messages to members, can you see if the messages have been read? You can't see on the actual app, no. But if you send a communication out through the communication from here on the left-hand side, you can see here communications, where we're looking, communication. If I click into communication here, go into it, I can then look at the stats for who's read it and who hasn't read it, but you can't in the app. The sole reason is we have to be very careful what we put in the apps. I found out about 12 months ago, there's over 1,300 Android devices on the market, and not every single one is very, very powerful. So if you put too much into the apps will start to crash and things like that. So that's the reason why you can't see it on the app. Hugh Edwards, I don't think that's the Hugh Edwards, isn't he a news reporter or something for the BBC? On the membership update, can you tell if the person has actually carried out the update? Is there a way of filtering out read prompts, or is it ignored the first push? There isn't, no. One thing you can do, let me just close that down. One thing you can do, I know it's not ideal. Let me just close that down. What you can do on the membership database here, if I click fields, all the ones that I've asked and all the questions you've asked, you can filter by. So if I come down to the bottom one and we look, say for instance here at photo consent, so I can see here, this is the photo and I can see who's filled it in. I can filter it by teams. So I can say, right, I need to know from the under 11s who said it. And again, it would come up in there if they've said it. I can add several fields in there. You know, I could look, for instance, I need to know, for instance, emergency contact number 2. And again, it'd be in here as well. So it doesn't tell you if people have done it or if they haven't done it. And again, we're always going to have that problem, I think, aren't we, when people obviously they will or they won't do it. But again, it's just a case of trying to educate them and get them to use that. So hopefully that helped you. Matt's asked again, is there a way of ensuring payments continue to come out the following year for next year's season? Okay, what you can do, Matt, come out of that again, nice and easy. What you can do, oops, let me come out of that, just press the right one. What you can do, if we go into shop and payments here, and we go into products, what I can do, so winter subscription, for instance, if I click the 3 buttons at the side, I can clone the product. If I clone the product as well, it will also clone the people that have assigned in that product as well. So you can put winter subscriptions, for instance, 2022, 23, or whatever it may be. You can clone the product and it all comes across as well. You can set up a membership again, that's constantly on rolling. So I know a couple of football clubs that do that. So they charge £10 a month and it just continuously rolls through and they don't ever have to touch it. People set it up and it just keeps rolling. Hopefully that will help. Matt, if you have a family membership, who do you assign the payment to? Again, Matt, we assign it to a child. So basically it will come through and again, they can do that. Then it basically, when you pay for a family membership, it says, who does this cover? So you would then tag mom, dad and the kids and stuff in there. But if you assign it to the child, that's the best way to do it. Richard's asked, for payments, where do you put in the club? Where do you put in the club bank info? Okay, so when you set up the original, when you set up with Picchiro, you go on the left-hand side here, you go into payment tools. So if I look at payment providers here, for instance, I can see we set up to go Carlos and Stripe. So when you set up the website, before you're able to do any products, you go in and choose which product you want to set up. You set it up and it then takes you to a Go Cardless and takes you to your own personal account. You then fill out that sort of information that you're wanting, put your club's bank details in there, choose how often you want to be paid out. It might be every Friday, every 2 Fridays, but again, you choose in there. With the Go Cardless and lower transaction fees, that's where if you say you're a cask or a charity, it will ask you to prove that you're against. So I'm sure if you speak to your treasurer or your club accountant, they will have details and things in there, which you'll be able to prove obviously who you are. Okay, hopefully that helped. Garrett, are all membership fields customizable and optional? Again, the ones in black are standard, you can't change them, but anything else after, you can ask up to 60 individual questions. You can change them every year, you can delete them, add new ones. It's completely up to you what you want to do. So hopefully that will help. Peter's asked, do you have levels of access on the app for payments, i.e. parent to see child info only, coach to see them all committed? Yeah, you do. So what you can do there, Peter, is you can give people limited access. So say if I was to make you an admin of the under 16s, you'd only be able to see the under 16s in the manager app. You wouldn't be able to see any payment information, anything like that. You'd just be able to see the training, the availability, and obviously the information if you need it, and a manager app for emergencies and things like that. You can then give webmaster access, which is overall access, like we're in now, and you can limit access. So I can give you webmaster access, but if I don't want you to be able to do any design on the website, I can remove that access from you. So again, you can pick and choose, again, what type of access people want. Gary's asked again, is it possible to have the parent and child on the same tab so they don't have to go into two tabs? Do you mean actually on the app? I presume you do. No, if not, you'd have to go into each individual person. So mom or dad, then the child. Okay. Matt's asked again, in relation to my question about joining, we have members that are a parent but are also a coach and a senior player. Matt, great question. So if I just show you something now, Matt, let me close that down and I go into membership and membership database. Once they apply and they're into here, you can then add what you want them to be as well. So if I go into me here, for instance, and I go into my roles, you can see I'm a player for the men's first teams and 17s. I'm a parent, I'm a coach, I could be a club member, I'm a webmaster. You can be a member or you can do as many roles as you want. So basically they join as a parent. You would then say, well, I want them to be a coach, I want them to be a webmaster. And again, you can do that. That's really straightforward. So if I just come up here, just show you how to do it. Let me just go into Joe Admin, for instance, here. So Joe's here. I go into his roles and I want Joe to be a coach. So I click coach at the side. It asks me to choose a team. Well, Joe can coach under 11s. I can save it. And there you go. In the app, it will now say Joe's also a coach of under 11s, which will automatically give him admin access for the under 11s as well. Okay. Yeah, Matt, I think you are the only one asking questions. There's a couple more. Let's keep going. Tara said, is there a way to add siblings rates in? Yeah, there is indeed, like we mentioned. You can set it up how you wish to set it up. So again, you can set it up to say, for instance, mom and dad and one child's £100, mom and dad and two children's £200. Again, there's all sorts of different ways you can set it up. So the answer is to that, yes, you can do. Gary's mentioned again, can the member just reply to the annual prompt to say they consent to a renewal? If you put that there in their questions and things like that, yes, you can do. So it's up to yourself how you work it as a club. I think that's what you mean. Is that right, Gary? Peter, so if you give a coach access to their team's info only, they don't see if a player is up to date with subs. No, not through admin and things like that. Again, we have to be careful, which I think I mentioned before about how much sort of things you can do on the app. So again, what they do, you'd have to give them webmaster access and they can just log on to a Mac or a PC and they can then come on here and do it that way as well. I'm just going to have a drink because I think I'm going a bit hoarse, so give me a moment. Okay, so a couple more minutes, guys, asking questions. I think somebody's put something in the chat. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Who's put it here? So Victoria, hello, Victoria. I think we spoke recently, didn't we? Do you have to set up initially as a parent and then add your children? Victoria, that's correct, yeah. So you set the role up as a parent. You then add the children's details in as well. That's correct. Elaine Shaw said here, can you change the assignment people have paid, i.e. paid individually, then upgraded by cash to a family membership? Yes, you can do. It's a little bit more complicated, so I won't go into that. So if that happens, say somebody's paid for the wrong product, yes, you can change it across, and that's fairly straightforward to do. But if that happens, give us a shout and we'll do a one-on-one with you just to make sure, as I say, you're comfortable. So yeah, so the answer to that then, Gary, then that's yes, they can do as long as it's in there. You can just send them a prompt out, no problem at all. Okay, so we'll give it another 30 seconds to a minute. I'm sure you've all listened to my dulcet tones long enough. But as I say, don't forget there's several ways of getting in charge, getting in touch with everybody at Pitch Hero. Again, get in touch with the account manager, speak to support at pitchhero.com. Again, if you want to book a demo and stuff like that, go on to pitchhero.com/demo and you can book it on there. If you want to do some training on an evening, get back in touch with us. There's several different things we can do. Harry's come forward with a question, very basic question. Does the system show amounts actually owing, i.e. you send out invoices, but what if somebody does not pay on time? Again, Harry, that can be done through all the filtering and things like that. So if I go here, let me just come out of this. So again, if I just come out of membership, go into shop and payments, what I can do, I can go into products, for instance, here. And I can say, go into winter subscriptions. So again, I can filter here. I want to filter by status and say not paid, apply the filter. So again, you can say, there you know, these are the people that haven't paid. It won't give you an exact figure. You're going to have to do some obviously mental arithmetic. Say, right, it's £100 each, is 10 people there, so that's £1,000. But you can filter to see who hasn't paid and things like that. Hopefully that helps. Gary said here, I hope they weren't really all your details. No, Gary, not at all. As I say, they're some are, some aren't. But as I say, the important ones aren't in there. So yeah, we have to be careful. Do appreciate that. But okay, I think the questions have dried up. We've been on for 50 minutes now. So as I say, if you've got any questions, because sod's law, as soon as we end this, you will think, oh, I meant to ask Dan that as well, or I meant to ask him this. But as I say, you know, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You've got all the details. Please use the system. Keep going. And as I say, have a lovely weekend. No doubt we'll speak all very soon indeed. Cheers, guys. Take care. Stay safe.